Hello everyone, welcome to the Northland Artist Conversation. My name is Mark Kelly, I am your host, your guide, your Sherpa, as we explore the wonderful Northland artistic community of people that we have. Always thrilled to talk with people, and always thrilled to be joined in the studio by producer Andrew.
Kia ora.
Thank you for coming. It's been a while since you've done one of these, dude.
It has. It's been, it's probably been 3 or 4 months, to be fair.
It's definitely been months.
Yeah.
So I'm going to quickly go to my camera. The reason we're going to move through this one relatively quickly is because I want you guys to actually watch or listen to this whole podcast, because this was absolutely amazing. I could not believe it. This is the artist David Gunson, and he is from MGTO out in Mangataroto. Now, a few podcasts ago, we had Stephen, who is also part of the MGTO collective as well. So it was cool having David in, but there was so much cool stuff. There was too much cool stuff for one podcast. So I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let you guys enjoy this. Let's sit down and have a conversation with David Gunson. David Gunson, welcome to the Northland Artist Conversation. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. We really do appreciate it.
Great to be here.
Now, I just got to make sure I get this right. You are the second person from MGTO. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yes. Got it. I was thinking it's Machine Gun Kelly. He's a terrible rapper, by the way. Does he still rap? I don't know. I moved to pop punk there for a little while, but thank you so much. Now we were just talking. You've driven an hour to come here. So where have you actually come from?
So I live in Mangataroto, along with all the other artists of MGTO.
Yeah.
Barring a couple that live slightly outside in Paparoa and Matakawa area.
Yeah.
So we all got together and we thought, well, Mangataroto needs an art scene, and we're here to, give it one. And the opportunity came up to establish a contemporary art gallery.
Yes.
Underneath a church. And we went, well, let's try it out. And it's been working really, really well. Beyond our wildest dreams. We thought, wow, it's really been embraced by the community.
Which is amazing, because what is out there? Fonterra?
Yeah, well, you've got Fonterra, you've got very nice waterfalls.
Yes.
You've got a...
Haruru, no, not Haruru. What is it called? What are the waterfalls? Piroa.
Yeah.
Piroa Falls.
That's one.
And you've got one of the coolest foursquares that I've ever been into.
It is a very good foursquare.
Yes, it is.
We've got a great op shop there.
Yeah.
And, various other local businesses.
Yeah.
We've got a really good RSA.
Yep.
Country club.
You've got a country club out there.
Yeah, they're my next door neighbours.
Oh, that's what.
So
cool.
I'm right on the edge of town, overlooking the country club.
Oh, wow.
Looking out to the wonderful Kaipara.
Yeah, beautiful out that way. Because you've also got the Otamotai community centre there as well. I don't know if I've said that correctly.
Otamatia,
thank you very much. Otamotai. That's in... Otamotai is in Tauranga. Otamatia is your way, and Tamatea is Napier. So, yeah. No, I'm just geographically trying to get everything right. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Okay. Now, when we had... Who did we have on first?
You had Stephen Davies.
Stephen. I remember Stephen.
Yes.
It was very interesting.
He is a multidisciplinary artist.
He is.
He's got lots of skills and lots of areas.
Huge amount of skills. When I was sitting down, typing up the blurb for his podcast, I was like, man, where do I start? The dude's just got so many skills. What the hell? I mean, I could have just written a paragraph on Stephen does, blah, 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 and then we thank Stephen. But
Well, all of the artists at MGTO have got their little gig going on. They've got their speciality, and then they've got a whole bunch of other skills as well. Like Laura's an amazing figurative artist, and yet she also does the decorative work on Mike's ceramics.
Oh, wow.
And,
wow.
Yeah. We've got a photographer, other painters, sculptors. Yeah. So it's really kind of worked really well. There's something tying everybody's work together.
And it sounds also very collaborative as well.
Yeah.
Whereas not like, all right, you've got 6 people, and each of those 6 people do different things, and never the twain shall meet. It's 6 people, but we all kind of intermingle and coalesce and stuff like that.
Well, it's funny you should mention that.
Okay.
Because coming up pretty soon is our first collaborative exhibition where we're all working on each other's
Oh, really?
artwork. Yes.
Oh, that'll be amazing. When's that due out?
That'll be starting 21st of September.
21st of September.
So we've got Ties That Bind now, and then,
yes,
and then the collaborative exhibition.
And the Ties That Bind, that's a new one, right? That's just come out.
It's starting tomorrow.
It's starting tomorrow. Okay, cool. Man, okay, for such a small township.
Yeah,
Town.
I guess you'd call it a
township. It's pretty amazing to have an art gallery.
Yeah, I think we're the first one. I did do a bit of research around asking all the old timers, has there ever been a gallery here? And they went, well, no.
No, well, no.
I mean, and there's a lot of different reactions to having a gallery in town.
Really?
Yeah, like some people say, and this is just sort of they're not used to it. You have to pay to go in. Because they're thinking of it as a municipal city gallery kind of thing, where you have an entry fee and you go in and have a look around.
Yep.
No, you can go in and you can buy the work and take it home and have it on your wall. And people often go, "Oh, well, I don't have the room," and I just tell them, treat your house like a gallery.
Yes.
Change the works around. Take the work that's in the hallway and put it in the bedroom, or swap it round.
Yeah.
And people kind of like go, oh,
can I do that?
Yeah. Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
It's been hanging on my wall for like 12 years. Am I really allowed to shift it? Of course you are. Don't be a dick.
And one of the funny things you do get is people will walk around the gallery, and then just as they're about to leave, they'll go, that one's my favourite, and then they'll walk out in case you might disagree with them or something like that. Yeah. But we've actually had quite a few people come through the town and stop and like see the signage, and we've had locals who have been sort of quietly art aficionados, like forever, and have had no outlet.
Wow.
And that's the really great thing.
Yeah.
And one of the other side benefits of having a gallery is all of the artists, they've got a purpose to work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to create a work, send it off to Auckland to a dealer gallery, and you may or may not get a sale, and it may or may not, have success in somewhere else. But here, you can, as an artist, you can go into the gallery and just watch people looking at your work and how they move around and how they react to it. And that's been really rewarding for all the artists, and they have had the opportunity to kind of like go, oh, I can, Rudy's doing this with his artwork. Well, maybe if I tried that technique with my work, I can, and they're bouncing ideas off each other and inspiration on a daily basis.
Yeah. But it's interesting, like, because after having had the Stephen come in and sit down with us, just sort of having a look through social media and stuff like that, the views are increasing. People are sort of starting to see it and find it and word of mouth, and it's like, what? There's an art gallery? Wait, there?
And
really? And it's good? What the hell? but that's the exciting part, right? It's not a bunch of I don't want to say this disparagingly, but it's not a bunch of hacks and young kids that think they're artists. You guys are all experienced and seasoned artists.
That's right, and we've got some people who have exhibited in big galleries up and down the country.
Yeah,
their works in overseas collections. I mean, it's one of the tough things for New Zealand artists. Is kind of like, if your work works overseas, then you're worth celebrating here. It's kind of like, you got to sort of
ship it over the country.
That's right. And it's the same with all sorts of creative forms like music and
film. Definitely. So what is your creative medium that you sort of spend most time in now?
Well, my background is as a storyboard artist, and so therefore I've got a lot of Indian ink and dip pens and brushes, and that's the medium that I've been working with in storyboards. That's shifted over to digital these days.
Yeah.
So
like animatics and stuff like that, yeah.
Well, yeah. And just drawing digitally, because you've got to do multiple iterations and they've got to be quick. Yep. So that's left me with a drawing board and lots of pen and ink. And
so for the people watching or listening, what is a storyboard artist?
Okay, so every shot in a movie has its own little drawing, potentially, particularly if it's action or historical or there's complicated camera moves.
Yep.
Each shot will have a little drawing, and that gives the director, the art department, the cameraman, the editor, an idea of what's in the shot.
Yeah,
you know, if you've got 2 dancing elephants, you draw 2 dancing elephants, and everyone sitting at the production table will go, "Hey, there's 2 dancing elephants."
Yeah.
No ambiguity there, because the picture represents what the movie will be or could be.
Yeah.
And these drawings go through lots and lots of iterations. On a big TV show, you could have thousands of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm the guy that draws each of those little drawings, and they go up on the board or they go in a presentation folder kind of thing. And the team basically decide how they're going to make their movie based on these little drawings.
Wow.
And some directors have a very specific idea about what they want, and others will go, okay, let's do the scene this way with the camera here, the camera there, that close up, that medium shot, and then they might change their mind and do the whole thing again, in a different way.
Okay, so you're a pre-production guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Although I've spent a fair amount of time watching things, watching the storyboard come to life, and then I go, well, it wasn't that way when I...
Yeah. You're watching it being filmed. You're like, I don't recall that particular shot.
I always try and visit the set of something I've storyboarded, and most people go, yeah, come on down. And that way... it's just a chance for me to kind of say I've been there and done it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because storyboard artists always get left off when it comes to the cast and crew party.
Oh, yes. Of course they will.
Because they're long ago finished their work.
Yeah. Okay, so... All right.
But anyway, my artwork...
Your artwork. Thank you.
is based on the idea of drawings. And using that kind of medium of, let's take a 2D image and make it as graphic as possible. I did a mural at the Mangataroto RSA, and that had a very graphic kind of style to it. That's on the side of the
I'm just
of the
trying
RSA.
to. I was only there a couple of months ago. I'm just trying to remember if I saw it.
It's probably, you probably saw it just before it was finished, or just before it started.
Possibly. Is it only quite recent? Then?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Like only yeah.
Oh, I've got to go out and see clients out there soon, so I'll have a wee look. Now, always curious to know sort of, well, an artist's origin story, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
Considering you are part of the origin story of a movie or show in general. How did you get to where you are? Like, because I don't imagine, well, I could be wrong. I don't imagine that as a kid you were like, when I grow up, I want to draw storyboards for movies. And some people have started in a particular format, like drawing comic books, for example, and that's kind of all they've done. Or you've got some people that are like, I was great at drawing, then I became a lawyer for 30 years, and then I, discovered fucking painting deck chairs. I don't know, but it's all swings and roundabouts. What was it like for you, sort of growing up?
Well, at art school I was
Which one?
Auckland Society of Arts.
Very nice.
Which was technically had a side called the Auckland School of Arts.
Yeah.
That was in Ponsonby. I was doing a graphic design course there, and my father is a painter, illustrator, graphic designer. My mum's a printmaker, so it was natural that I would kind of lean.
It was already in the house.
It was already in the
Wow.
house.
Wow.
So Dad would be down in his sort of studio area or working at the dining room table, drawing, doing illustrations, doing paintings, whatever.
Yeah.
My mum would be doing printmaking, and so that was how I grew up. They were doing their work.
That's insanely
at the dining
cool.
table or in the studio that got built later on. And me and my sister, we pretty much sort of picked it up by osmosis.
I was just about to say, was it osmosis?
Yeah. You just kind of like that. That's what they do,
Yeah.
And so that was just there in the background the whole time.
Yeah.
And they understood the process, and the advice was there if you asked for it, but it wasn't. It wasn't, oh, you should do this or you should do that, or stay away from the arts, get into law, or finance.
Become a doctor or something.
Yeah. Stay close to the money, kids. Stay close to the money.
Always find the cash.
Yeah. Well, it's true.
It is.
The accountants always get paid first.
Exactly. And whenever you work a job, your best friend in that entire business should always be payroll lady. Yeah.
They've got lots of friends.
They do, and they've got so much power.
So, getting back to art school.
Art school, yep.
Yeah, I was doing graphic design, and we had a lot of other little courses that were sort of tagged on to that, night studies and that kind of thing. And
wow.
So there was like, you'd do a whole day of graphic design, and then in the afternoon, evening, you'd be doing painting, or you'd be doing sculpting, photography, all the other artistic disciplines.
Yeah.
And there was a course in animation, and I kind of went, is that like cartooning?
Like cell animation?
Well, it was...
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get to that.
We're going somewhere.
Take
me on the journey.
Okay, so I quite like cartoons.
Yeah.
And, they're great. And so I went along to this class, and it was animation as in moving pictures. So after about the 100th version of a character kind of like going, lifting an arm, and I was kind of like going, well, this is not terribly exciting.
Pretty fucking boring.
Yeah, and we were using film cameras on rostrum stands.
Oh, yeah.
So you put your do your drawing,
Yeah.
put your picture in, click the switch for one frame.
And now
24 frames a second, kids.
there we go. So you would have to do, but I don't know if they were doing it back then, but there used to be one where you could do every alternative frame.
Yeah. That's
Lots of tricks.
There are lots of tricks. That double framing technique makes it a little bit more jerky.
Yeah.
But with the cameras that we were using, we were just doing one frame at a time. And so anyway, that got really frustrating. And so I took the camera off the rostrum stand and started filming the other classmates without the clicker, and sometimes with the clicker as well.
Yeah.
And the course tutor basically said, maybe this isn't the right course for you. Let's shift you sideways into the creative filmmaking course, and then you can sort of let your wings take flight.
Yeah.
And so I did, and that was really cool. And so I did a full-time graphic design course.
Yeah.
And I did a full-time filmmaking course, and sort of jammed them into the same amount of time.
Yeah.
And then when I finished that course, I went out into the big wide world and just tried to do work experience to find out what this film industry thing was.
Yeah, right.
And I went around grips and art departments and cameras and did some work experience for sometimes it was a couple of weeks, sometimes it was a couple of months, just finding out what each department did,
Yeah.
And that was really interesting because you learn all these disciplines, and as an independent filmmaker, you need those.
You 100% you do.
You need to understand what the sound guy's doing and why he needs room tone and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And, and so by the end of it, none of them had really caught why I got excited about film in the first place. And it was kind of like the thing that I loved about film most was it took all these different disciplines and put them in one place. So you've got writing, you've got drawing, storyboards, you've got performance, you've got editing, which is its own kind of quite unique art form because you're manipulating time.
Very much so. I don't understand editing.
And all of these things go into making a film. And storyboarding for me, if you're doing it right, is a synthesis of all those disciplines, because you're kind of like paying attention to each and every step of the process.
So when I think of a storyboard artist or anything along those lines, I'm instantly taken back to the Star Wars documentaries that I loved as a kid, and they were amazing. When I'm going to sound old, the VHS versions came out, they always had a little bit of behind the scenes stuff like that. But I always think of the artist that helped George Lucas with Star Wars create the initial images, which is a guy called Ralph
McQuarrie.
Ralph McQuarrie.
Yeah.
An absolute legend.
Totally.
He did a lot of he did some of the essentially some of the iconic shots, like Luke Skywalker with Tatooine and the two holding a lightsaber, and I think he did the first representation of Darth Vader as well.
That's right. And Darth Vader was a combination of what George really liked, which was Akira Kurosawa's films, and samurai armor, mixed in with a little bit of German kind of Stahlhelm helmet design.
Yeah, the helmet very speaks that.
Yeah, and gas masks, like World War I kind of gas mask kind of vibe. So Ralph McQuarrie joined all these ideas that George had in his head together, and was able to sell the idea that George had. Originally, George was going to be doing Flash Gordon, but he couldn't get the rights.
That's right.
And so Star Wars was his answer to the epic space fantasy soap opera. Not soap opera. What's the word?
What is a soap opera?
I
think that's
kind of
because it very much follows Joseph Campbell's A Hero's Journey.
Yes.
And it touches on all the key points that it should, which is, and the only other thing I can sort of think of is Homer's The Odyssey.
That's right. And they all have real key aspects for storytelling.
Yeah.
And that's what a good art form does. It takes you on a journey,
Which is what it should do, right?
Yeah.
So is the sort of stuff that Ralph was doing, is that the sort of stuff that you would do? Or would you be doing like small panels?
I would be mostly doing the small panels. I've occasionally had the chance to do concept art, where you're kind of like, building an alien world.
Outstanding.
Where you're doing a historical street. I had one project that I worked on where they basically had to redesign a Victorian London kind of thing. It was a New Zealand production filming over in Canada, but I was working... a New Zealand production filming over in England.
Right.
I worked on other co-productions like New Zealand and Canadian co-productions as well. But I was having to sort of come up with some concept art of how things were going together.
Now, while you're talking, I grab my phone and I consult IMDb, the Internet Movie Database. And I can see here, I've got to make sure that I've got this correct. Now, the film that you're talking about, would that be Beyond the Edge? No, not Beyond the Edge. Would that be The Strength of Water? That doesn't feel like it would be The Strength of Water either. But would that be Desperate Remedies?
Oh no! Well, Desperate Remedies was a different production. I was actually talking about Dean Spanley, and
oh really?
Yeah. The first one that I
storyboard artist.
Yeah,
very cool. We're in the presence of royalty here, folks. This is amazing.
I just do the pictures,
but it's so cool.
Desperate Remedies was the first film I had any film work experience on, and I was working behind the scenes on Desperate Remedies.
Yeah.
Helping out in
your credit is as art assistant.
Yeah, so I was kind of bouncing around between art department, the AD department. There was camera work, lugging the tripod around and helping out the camera team.
Yeah.
It was a unique film from the point of view as there were a lot of creative artists involved, not just technicians. There was a sequence where we had mud on the floor, but the two directors they wanted it coloured blue, so the blue mud basically became a bit of a curse. So we were, shoveling blue mud around.
God.
It had colouring in it, and but it was a unique experience because it was filmed all on a wharf in Auckland, and in one of the storage sheds that they had down on the wharf. And being a young guy, I just was blown away. Oh, this is how movies are made.
Yeah.
And of course, it's not how movies are made, because films are usually very stuck in their way of operating.
Yeah.
Each department has its own very strict procedure, and you follow that to the letter. With Desperate Remedies, there was a lot of morphing of, let's make an art film.
Yeah. And that was filmed in the early 90s.
Yes, it was. Yes.
So how did it feel being on set at the age of 14? It's a compliment there, folks. But then it says that your next film was Nemesis Game. Now, I didn't know. I've seen Nemesis Game. Ian McShane.
Yes,
who
that's
doesn't
right.
love Ian McShane?
You'll actually see me in that film.
Really?
Yes, I'm an extra as well as a storyboard artist.
Well, that's the first time you're credited on IMDb as a storyboard artist.
Yeah.
Now, that's got quite a futuristic, a sort of semi-futuristic dystopian tone to it, if I remember right.
It's sort of like a slightly hyper alternate, present day
reality
setting.
type thing. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's it's sort of like take this world and kind of give it a strange little twist.
Skew it a bit.
Skew,
Yeah.
yes. And so, that was my first time working overseas on a production, and it was really, really, really interesting. And the Americans used Toronto, because that's where it was filmed.
Oh, yeah, Toronto fills in for a lot of America.
Oh, yes.
My God. Toronto doesn't even look like Toronto.
Yeah. And it was strange how the crews there were very regimented, like our ones are.
Really?
But even more so. And here come, half a dozen Kiwis who were working on the production, and we just sort of twisted around the way that they looked at things, and we went, it's not about how many hours you're doing, it's not about the paycheck, it's about, are we reaching as good as we can, or are we just fulfilling the
you're ticking all the boxes. And, God.
You turn up to work, you do what's expected, you do as much as you need to get on. And our attitude was, can we make it better than it is?
Yeah.
Can we increase, its emotional reach? And so they came over to that way of thinking, and they went, oh, you Kiwis have got something going on there.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. I was last year I was fortunate enough to meet an actor by the name of Milo Cawthorne, who also was mum and dad live out in Onarahi, and he visits here. He comes back home every now and then. He filmed an amazing horror film called Deathgasm. Great film. If you haven't seen it, I actually highly recommend watching it. And it was filmed, I want to say, out West Auckland. It's very cool film. He ended up having to, he delayed his flight to go to the set to film Deathgasm 2, so he could attend the convention that I was hosting, and they were filming in Canada for New Zealand. I was like, why?
Yeah.
I know, the tax breaks, apparently. It's something along those, or the rebates, or whatever they get back.
Yeah, it's a strange way that the film world works when they stand things in for other things, and you go, well, there's actually usually a logic behind it. It's economics, or it's convenience. It's like, if we want to, do we really have to relocate the camera and the camera crew and the whole unit? Can we switch it and do it sort of creatively this way? And that was one of the interesting things about learning filmmaking at art school.
Yes.
It was kind of like the tutor, John Calder. He came from a very independent background. He said, we don't need to build studio sets. Let's use the real thing.
Yeah, correct.
And let's maximize the uniqueness of the real thing. And as such, his films were very kind of had a movement and an energy and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It didn't get locked down.
Yeah, and that's interesting. I think it's also a lot of it to do with the Kiwi attitude as well.
Yeah.
I reference Peter Jackson's Bad Taste. Shot over, was it 2 or 3 years on weekends?
No, that was a weird film, because I remember everyone at school talking about Bad Taste, and I actually managed to get hold of a copy somehow, and I sat down and watched it, and then I went, this is a New Zealand movie. And we'd kind of grown up with the cultural cringe, and it's kind of like,
yes,
New Zealand's,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yet it was doing really cool, radical stuff. Oh, let's have that, creature fall off a cliff.
Exactly. Let's explode a sheep with a grenade launcher.
Yeah,
just revolutionary. Let's have a house fly. And then he did Meet the Feebles. He did. And we can just gloss over that one, because that's That's a great film, but there's
Not great for kids, though.
no. If you're a fan of the Muppets, I don't recommend watching it. But then he did Brain Dead, then The Frighteners, and I think the transition between those two is where things started getting really interesting in the New Zealand film landscape as well.
Yeah, totally.
Did any of that sort of work that he was doing, did that have any sort of flow-on effect for you as an artist?
In so much as it was a case of grab the bag of stuff that you have
Yeah.
and use it in your next show or your next film
Yeah.
or whatever. It's
Right,
kind of like
wow.
he had access to this thing and that thing, and if he didn't, he would make grab the fake leg,
Yeah.
and use it.
Yeah.
And this would be his attitude of let's find a way, and then we'll film it. And I mean, this is with bad taste. Obviously, as he had more and more money, other people can make these cool props
absolutely.
for him. But I've met Peter Jackson twice, I think. Yeah, one I went to a screening in his cinema when the
Oh, wait, hang on. I just want to quickly go back to that for a moment. Did you say his cinema?
yeah.
Right.
He had a theaterette built at Wingnut for screening.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's amazing.
And he screened a film for some of us who were down for the Wellington Fringe Festival.
Oh, yeah.
And then one of the weird things was I met him at Warbirds over...
Waka?
No, sorry, Omaka.
Right.
Yeah, Warbirds at Omaka,
Yeah.
which is the other companion air show. And I was running... He's a real big fan of World War One
Yes, he's got
aircraft
a huge
and stuff.
collection of planes, yeah.
And I'm running along dressed as a New Zealand World War One officer down the field, as you do.
As you do?
As you do. And the Germans captured me. And then I saw Peter Jackson standing in the Gold Pass area,
Yeah.
like about 10 metres away. And the Germans sort of like, they turned their backs ever so slightly. So I made a bid for freedom towards the Gold Pass, where Peter Jackson's standing with his home handycam camera.
Brilliant, yeah.
And I run to the fence, and the Germans shoot me.
Yeah.
This is all
It's so-
unscripted. And I go, and drop down the fence, separating the battlefield from the Gold Pass stand, and Peter Jackson's just filming me on his
capturing your death.
total Hollywood.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I've been waiting for the contract to come in the mail ever since.
Oh yeah. We're like, oh fuck yeah, we need a quality death scene. I've got this home footage. Let's get in touch with that guy. Oh, that's brilliant. But I mean, when you're in the industry like that, you must have a million different stories, or is it you get left out of them because you're right at the start?
I don't know about stories so much. They're just kind of like, oh, that does happen. You meet these people and you kind of like forget about it, and then you recall it
Years later,
years later, and you go, oh. But that particular situation, when I saw Peter Jackson, I knew I had to make a bid
gotta
for
make a
freedom.
dash for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. Okay, so how do you go from storyboard artist who's worked on international films
Yeah.
to...
Mangatarota.
Yeah. Look, I wanted to say it politely, but I was really struggling. How does that happen?
Well, I guess for me personally, that's you drive north of Auckland. I was living in Auckland, and basically my situation was I'm homeless, I'm flatting, I've got to put down some roots somewhere.
Yeah.
So my mother-in-law is living up in Mangatoroto,
Yeah.
and why not, instead of just visiting,
Stay for a little bit. Yeah.
stay for a little bit. And
Wow.
so settled in Mangatoroto, and because I was quite lucky, COVID sort of happened.
It did.
Not long afterwards. Everyone got used to operating online.
Yep.
And so it didn't matter that I wasn't, right in the middle of town, because I could be...
You could be digital. You're anywhere, right?
I'm anywhere, yeah. And so I'm getting storyboarding briefs on Zoom calls,
Wow.
drawing them up, sending them back the next day, and that's how a lot of that work happened during that time. And I suddenly went, it is doable. Because there was a moment when I went to Mangatoroto, I was sitting there and I went, what have I done? Because all my old networks were still
in Auckland.
in Auckland.
Yeah.
And people like Fred, who's involved with the gallery, he kind of he's a cinematographer of great renown. He's a musician, and yet he comes from Mangatoroto. And
Wow.
so, I go round to his place and I start meeting his network of people.
Yeah.
And I went, it is doable. You can be a creative person
Yep.
and live in a small provincial town. And
Far out.
it was a great revelation to me to be able to go, you can do it.
Yeah.
I just need to find a way.
Well, and the thing is, because of lockdown, everyone kind of had to figure it out, right?
Yeah. Even if in the middle of town, you're as isolated as people in small towns up here.
Yeah.
There was no difference.
Yeah.
And so that changed the mindset with people. It's like, you didn't have to be in the room. You could be remote.
Do you still get a lot of storyboard work?
It'll come along in dollops. It's
Right, okay.
It's
kind of fits and starts type thing. Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit quiet right now, which has been quite good for doing artwork for MGTO.
The gallery, yep.
And then there'll be a big mountain of work come in as productions get funding, and there'll be 2 or 3 productions that'll get funding at the same time. And then I'll be hopping from one project to another in rapid progression.
See the feast or famine.
Yeah. It's the most feast and most famine of any feast or famine.
It's at that point you go, I'm glad my accountant is really good.
Well, you learn to save.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
You don't go, well, I'm feeling like caviar this week, and then the next week you're going, those 2-minute noodles are looking pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Because it's also such a transient industry as well, right?
It is. And I think anyone in the creative side of life has to be prepared to multitask and use different skills in different places. There are certain things I've done a little bit of poetry in the past, and the skills of actually sort of doing poetry have helped writing, and which has helped doing proposals for projects and that kind of thing.
Nice.
It's kind of like one thing leads on to another, slightly different, but still applicable in some ways. And you find that with all the creative aspects of the arts. One skill will lead into another and help one project or whatever.
It's all translatable, right?
Yeah.
That's very cool. Wow. I have a question for you. Would you come back and join us again?
Sure.
I'd love to have you back on. Get a couple of projects under the belt. I'd love to hear about that dual artist collaboration one as well. That would be cool. David, thank you so much for joining us. I cannot tell you how awesome this has been. I can say the words, but inside I'm just like, oh, fuck, this was brilliant. Thank you very, very much for joining us on the Northland Artist Conversation. It's so cool.
Thank you very much, and it's a great outlet for all the artists in Northland.
Oh, thank you so much. We do our best. Well, there you go, everyone. David Gunson from MGTO, out at the beautiful Mangataroto. Second one of their group that we've had in, which has been great. And he drove all the way in. It was about an hour. So, guys, we really appreciate you coming in, and hopefully we get a few more coming in and sitting down with us. It's a lot of fun. I'm thoroughly enjoying kind of what's going on at the moment. Producer Andrew.
Yes.
How are you?
Not too bad. But fatigued. I work out too much nowadays.
Right. Okay. Well,
I've been doing heaps of group fitness with Albert, trying to get him ready for rugby. So
yeah, Roy'd certainly have that way.
Yeah.
What was your favourite part of our podcast tonight?
Probably the Peter Jackson story at the Warbird show. That was pretty good. I was like, talk about seize your moment,
Yeah, carpe diem.
Yeah.
Seize the day.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. Shoot your shot.
Exactly. For me, interesting to hear about his perspective from inside the film industry.
Yeah.
And he did talk about that sort of quite a bit as well. And he's sort of at the early stages of the film industry, which is he does all the pre-production work.
Pretty much pre-production.
Yeah, pre.
Yeah.
It's probably a good way to look at it as well. And he was a cool guy. He had seen a lot of our podcasts, which was,
that was cool.
Yeah, that was really flattering.
He even knew how to take the photos.
Yes, he
beat
did.
you to it.
He did. So when you see the photos go up for this podcast, he's just awesome.
Yeah, it's just Mark laughing and him doing the poses.
Pretty much. I could have just stood there laughing like an idiot, and he would have been gold with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it's always nice to kind of chat with people that are pretty cool and relax, and we do get a lot of those, and I'm always so grateful for it.
You know, one thing I want to bring up too, because I know this gets a lot of bad rap about the work from home stuff, but he kind of had a good point. He's kind of been able to go to a small town, work from home, and build that community. Yeah. We hear a lot about how big cities are suffering and da-da-da, and people aren't going to cafes and whatever, but here he is in a smaller village. It's a village, essentially.
Yeah, township,
and he's kind of contributing in a big way. So it's kind of refreshing to have that other side of the story for once. I just wanted to put it up there as my political takeaway.
Right. Well, it's good. Producer Andrew's running for the local council.
No way.
No. It was nice to sort of hear, how he was able to continue doing the work that he loves, but also massively give back to the community as well. That's all. Look, I think because you and I started this. Yeah. This is we did it for the same reason. Yeah. We wanted to give back to the community.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think that's very cool. So where can you, our wonderful guests, find more of our podcasts? I'm going to quickly go through it all for you now. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for anything visual. All Northland Artist Conversation somewhere around here. For audio, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube Podcasts. Again, Northland Artist Conversation. If you want to make it even simpler for yourself. Simpler. That makes sense. Simpler for yourself, easier for yourself. Just open up your web browser of choice and type in Northern Artist Conversation. I can guarantee you the first 10 results are all related to this and what we do. And if you would like to be on the podcast, or if you know someone that would be cool on the podcast, or if you've been on the podcast before, we would love to have you back. Just reach out to us. hello@northernartistconversation.co.nz, and the wonderful Michelle will get back in touch with you, go through a few dates and book you as quickly as we can. So cheers, guys. Thanks very much. Really appreciate it. I'm going to go to my wide camera. Producer Andrew, we're shooting this on the 14th of August. What happens on the 15th?
Chaos.
Yeah. So we've been putting up on it. I will put up one more post tonight. Actually, maybe tomorrow. the team that produces the Northland Artist Conversation are all getting together to take part in the 48-hour film festival. This is the first time that we as a group have done anything like this, and I am so incredibly excited to see the carnage that will come out of it. And we've been doing the podcast now for nearly... Well, for 3 years, but it's first
ticking into its fourth,
almost at 3.5.
Yeah,
which is crazy. Yeah, so we've got a pretty good team that run a pretty tight ship. So we decided we wanted to challenge ourselves and enter this competition with the hope of being able to build on it.
Yeah,
we've had some amazing guests, and I've been able to reach out to some of them, and they've all been like, "We would love to help you." So the creative community are really coming together. We thank you all so very, very much for all the love and support that you've given us and continue to give us. My name is Mark Kelly. On behalf of producer Andrew, editor Lee, engineer Steve, and admin Michelle, thank you so much for joining us on the Northland Arts Conversation. We will see you guys real soon.